And what about this Russia-Georgian crisis then?
Yeah, bastards.
Who?
All of them. Why can't they just relax and get on with their miserable lives?
I think that people do want that, the poor bastards, but it's got nothing to do with them. It's all about oil and gas.
Oh, is it? I thought it was some sort of form of communist testosterone overload tantrum.
Well, you're right, that doesn't help. And that's a good point. But you see, America wants Georgia to join NATO. They've spent billions of dollars on oil and gas production in Georgia, as well as an oil pipeline through it from Azerbaijan into Turkey and then to the Mediterranean, into the West, therefore threatening to break the energy stranglehold that Russia has on a very stupid, short-sighted Europe, thanks to Peter Mandelson.
Oh, him again. Was it his fault?
Probably, yes, it's got his hallmark all over it. It's the sort of thing he would do. Anyway, it was only the voice of reason from certain European states like Germany and France that have stopped them from joining NATO for the time being. Thank God, if there is one.
You don't like the French, do you?
No, I don't. I hate them. Arrogant socialist bastards with a stupid haircut and a victim mentality that they have magically transformed into a philosophy that only makes sense if you are really drunk. But don't start me off, okay, about the French.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it, mate.
But sometimes their dubious qualities do lead them to a logical thinking when it comes to international confrontation. Frankly, the French avoid confrontation because A, they probably will lose, and B, it might clash with lunchtime, which is, by the way, the only thing I do like about them.
Nice ladies, though. Bit weird, sort of uncomfortably confident or something.
That's why Frenchmen are bullies. They are frightened of women. It goes back to a defeat mentality, shame, loss of dignity. That's why they drink and eat a lot and call it a culture.
Sort of hiding behind a veil of peasant decadence.
Yeah. But anyway, look, I digress.
Kind of flack.
You see, Russia doesn't want a NATO country on its borders.
So why does Russia have such a problem with NATO? I thought NATO was supposed to keep the peace.
That was the idea initially, when it was formed after World War II. But NATO has evolved into a very dangerous and aggressive club of thugs, heavily influenced using bribery and blackmail by that nuclear bomb-dropping, napalm child-burning, spoiled adolescent oilaholic, trigger-happy hypocrite, America, whose idea of conflict resolution is to barge into a room using unnegotiable, threatening rhetoric with no regard for the dignity of nations. Did you hear what the US Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice, said the other day? She said this is not 1968 where Russia can threaten a neighbour, occupy a capital, overthrow a government and get away with it. Well, let me tell you, Dr. Rice, this is also not 2002 where the USA can threaten a former ally nation, occupy a capital, overthrow its government and get away with it.
Well, she has a point. She always sounds really nervous, don't you think? Anyway, come on, Russia was the aggressor in this
is it? I don't think so.
I didn't think you would.
Georgia fired the first shots. All Russia was doing was to protect its citizens in the breakaway region of South Ossetia, and then disabled Georgia's ability to attack them again.
Not very subtle, though, are they?
Who can be the judge of that?
Well, I mean, I saw them on the news. They look so rough and untidy, and they smoke too. I thought smoking was banned in public places.
Anyway, the fact is, Europe has stupidly become energy dependent on Russia. Georgia wants to join NATO so it can get backing for its independence, and the United States and therefore NATO is buggered because in no way can it take on the Russians to save its investment in Georgia, because it has overstretched itself fighting the war on terror and its war in Afghanistan and Iraq.
How stupid is that? So what's going to happen next then?
I don't know. President Musharraf will probably resign as president of Pakistan under pressure of impeachment, hijack the headlines, and Georgia will be about as newsworthy as a paedophile priest. They will have to do something drastic to reignite the story, and who knows what that will be. Probably drag the West into a state of war with Russia.
Shit, it's a funny old world, isn't it? Fancy a nice cup of tea?
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. Cheers.